Welcome to another session of Acnidaria, and in this session we are going to discuss about the remaining salient features of Acnidaria, as well as we'll also see the systematic position of Ctenophora. So the learning objective of this session is to study the salient features as well as to understand the systematic position, and by the end of this session you will be familiarized with different characters of Acnidaria Ctenophora, and also you will see why it has to be kept in a separate phylum. That is the systematic position of Acnidaria Ctenophora. Now we are continuing from our previous session where we have discussed about what are ctenophores and why they are called as a ctenophora. And so Ctenophora gets its name because it has teens, that means those teeth like structures that are present, rows of teeth that are present, they give them the particular name, isn't it? So in addition to that, these also have a gelatinous body plan. So that's why they are called as comb jellies, jelly like body with the comb like 8 plates. Okay, so that's why the name comb jellies to them. That is an additional name. So even walnut jellies, that is also another name that is given to them, because just like on the surface of the walnuts you can see the serrations, on the body of these two you can find such similarities. Now these ctenophores, they have two major layers of cells, but don't get confused, they are triploblastic animals definitely. The major layer of cells are two, epidermis and the gastrodermis, and in between that there will be a mesoglial area which is also cellular in nature. Okay, and we have also seen in our last class that they have these tentacles, as you can see here. So there are two tentacles, you see, long elongated retractile tentacles are present, and these tentacles are lined with the colloblasts, or which are called as lasso cells. Okay, and these colloblasts are not similar to stinging cells because they release a glue like substance. They won't sting like stinging cells, but instead they'll secrete a glue like substance which will stick to the prey. Okay, if there is a prey nearby, that will stick to these colloblasts, and then by the help of the tentacles they are put in the mouth. There are exceptions for this particular case, like for some of them they do not have this kind of colloblast, and some of them even lack tentacles. In such cases the mouth itself will be used in feeding. Okay, and since we are talking about feeding, these all the ctenophores are carnivorous. I'm sure you are familiar with the word carnivora. That means they'll be eating on the flesh or any other animal, isn't it? Now, in case of feeding, they also have a mouth. They have a mouth and what we call stomatium. It's a tubular structure, and then you might find some kind of folded and branched internal tubes, which generally end with two small anal pores. And here the undigested food or any waste material can be either thrown out of the mouth or through the anal pores. That's very interesting one, which is totally different from our Cnidaria members. In Coelenterata you find only mouth, and which leads to a gastrovascular cavity. But here it is more advanced than Coelenterata. It has a mouth as well as anal pores are present. Two anal pores are present in an end, which is often called as aboral end. Oral end is the end where the mouth is present. Aboral end is the end which is opposite to the region where mouth is present. That's why the term aboral is used. So anal pores are present on the aboral region of the body. Whatever may be the body shape, the location of the anal pore is aboral. Okay, so the food gets digested both intracellular and extracellular. Next, in addition to these, when we see the defense mechanism, they have very peculiar phenomena, what we call as bioluminescence. Bioluminescence, see this one. So luminescence means light, isn't it? So here bioluminescence, that means light emission by some living organism. Okay, when a living organism releases or emits light on its body surface, such mechanism is called as bioluminescence. This bioluminescence is a common phenomena in some of the zooplanktons. Okay, and there are certain examples of arthropods too, which can release, which can emit light. You can see there in the slide, such a beautiful fluorescent green color is emitted by these ctenophorans. See how beautiful it is. And this bioluminescence is because the ctenophores contain a specific gene, okay, and this will be this codes for a green fluorescent protein, and this green fluorescent protein which gives a bright green color, as you can see there on the slide. Okay, a beautiful green colored lights that are especially are very close to the comb area, this comb plate area. So that's why it's very evident there in the diagram, in the slide. This is a photograph taken from some website. So bioluminescence is one of the important feature found in case of Ctenophora. Okay, and this can be used as a defensive mechanism by the animal. Now, these, even though they have some evolved features than the Coelenterata, but most of the other features are lacking in Ctenophora. For example, there is no special structure for respiration. It takes place by the by diffusion, okay, on the body surface itself. Then they also do not possess any excretory system, and there is no circulatory system as such. So, no respiratory, no specialized respiratory, no specialized excretory and circulatory system. Instead, you find that most of these processes take place by simple diffusion. But a nervous system is present, which is in primitive case, just like in case of Coelenterata, a sort of nerve net is present in them. Okay, network like nerve cells are arranged in the form of a network. Okay, so which is similar to our Coelenterata member. And these nerve networks, they are more concentrated beneath the comb plates. Comb plates, there are 8 comb plates that are present in Ctenophora. So beneath these, they are much concentrated, because as we know that these comb plates are usually involved in locomotion. So sensing the surrounding and getting information is very much important. That's why maybe that is the reason why they are concentrated more in the those plate areas. Okay. And here we'll also find something special, that is these kind of special sensory structures are present in coelentrates too, particularly in free living forms. So what we call as a statocyst, which is an organ of balance, and here you can call it as a tissue of balancing the body. Particularly when an animal is a free swimming type, it needs to balance the body, and there are some special sensory cells, and they might be similar to the balancing organs which are present in our body, in the inner ear might be. Okay, so they have a similar basic structure and functions which will help them to arrange their body, organize their body with the respect to the surrounding, so that they can easily swim in the water. Okay, so these kind of statocysts are basically present at the opposite end of the mouth, that means towards the aboral end. As you can see once again in the slide, they are on the opposite side of the body. See here, then the sensory field is present. So this is the mouth, so oral end, this is the aboral end. You can see that there are some fine sensory structures. Okay, so they are the ones which will help in maintaining the equilibrium of the body. Okay, so I'll repeat, there is no respiratory system, there is no excretory system, no circulatory system, but a fairly good developed digestive system is present, which may not be called as a system as such because we don't find any organs here, but still some arrangement is found. Then we have nervous system in the form of a nerve net, okay, with some special sensory structure like statocysts are present. Moving on to the reproduction, in case of Ctenophora, these are hermaphroditic individuals. I am sure you are familiar with this particular term of hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodite is a condition where both male and female organs, sexual organs are present in a same individual. If both the organs are present in a same individual, you call it as a hermaphroditic individual, and Ctenophorans are hermaphroditic in nature. Okay, and here the eggs and sperms are produced by separate gonads. Okay, eggs are produced in one type of gonad, sperms are produced in another kind of gonad, and these are usually present along with the they're present along the meridional canal, which is associated with the comb plates. Okay, so comb plates, there are 8. That means there will be 8 meridional canal associated with that. So present along those meridional canal are the gonads, male or female gonads are present. Okay, and here development is somewhat indirect, and generally there is a larval stage. Most of the ctenophores have a larva, important cetipid larva is present in them. The slide what you had seen previously is a larva again, and in certain cases like in gastrodes, they have a different type of larva that is called as a planular larva. This planular larva is similar to the larva of Coelenterata, so there is a connection. Okay, so in some members the larva is a cetipid type, in some other cases the larva is planular type, which is more close to the coelenterate type of larva. Okay, so that means reproduction is by sexual methods, sometimes might be even asexual too in rare conditions. Sexual type of reproduction takes place in them, but individuals are hermaphrodites. Okay, and there are separate gonads. Okay, male gonads and female gonads are different. Separately they produce egg and spermatozoans, and the development is indirect with the larval stages. The larva might be cetipid or it might be planula in nature. Planula is similar to the coelenterate larva, and very interestingly and important is that they also show regeneration. Regeneration is the reproduction of any organ that has been lost by most of the times by autotomy, but sometimes even by accidents too. Okay, so regeneration is regrowing a lost body part. As well as they also show pedogenesis. Now pedogenesis is a condition where the larvae shows adult natures, adult features. When the adult features are developed in larval forms, it is called as pedogenesis. Okay, so this kind of pedogenesis are somehow found in case of certain amphibians, and we find the similar phenomena here in Ctenophora too. So they produce some adult nature, and that always depend on the surrounding, the quality of the water they live, the concentration of the certain salts. Okay, in the sample, in the water body, in the medium, wherever they are living. Okay, so regeneration and pedogenesis are very common feature in case of Coelenterata. In case of Ctenophora. Okay, so that's all about the Ctenophora members. We have just tried to understand certain basic features of them. Okay, of Ctenophora. They have a jelly-like body, they have comb plates that helps in locomotion. Okay, and then unlike coelenterates, they are triploblastic. They also have mouth and anal pores. Okay, and then they don't have respiratory system, no circulatory system, no excretory system, but definitely with the nerve net and some sensory cells, as well as reproduction is by sexual method with the hermaphroditic condition and indirect development having a larval stage. Okay, so these are all the features of Ctenophora. Bigger pardon, I am getting repeatedly saying Coelenterata. No, it's not Coelenterata. Even though they are somehow closely related one. And how they are related, let's say next. And that's where we are going to discuss about the position of this Ctenophora in animal kingdom. Why this Ctenophora should be kept in a separate phylum. Let's try to understand now. The first one, see, they have certain features that are similar with the coelenterates, like jelly-like body, that mesoglia that is present, arrangement of the body in the form of 2 layers, okay, and presence of nervous system in the form of nerve net. All these are features which are similar with the coelenterates, but together with that, they have also undergone certain changes. They have evolved, they have diverged in their evolution, and now they might be showing some similarity with the medusoid forms of Coelenterata. Medusoid form means the umbrella-like free swimming form is called medusoid form. So, medusoid form they might have been. So, if we are only believing that, we cannot say that okay, this is the truth, because it all depends upon the evidences what we get. So, here based on whatever is available for us, we can say that they might have diverged from the medusoid ancestral forms of medusoid coelenterate. Presence of statocyst can be one such evidence. Okay, and then these like in addition to having some common features with the coelenterata, these ctenophores also have some additional features, advanced features over radiata. Radiata means the one which shows radial symmetry, isn't it? So they have advanced features than those radiata. Now what are those advanced features? If we have to name some, there is a prominent apical region, okay, in case of these Ctenophora compared to Coelenterata, and then their musculature is derived from mesoderm. That's why see we call them as triploblastic. Coelenterata is diploblastic, but here the body, some part of the body is also developed from mesoderm. So that is one more advanced feature over radiata. And then there are specialized gonoducts which is lacking in Coelenterata, and they show determinate type of cleavage. Determinate type of cleavage means when the cleavage occurs, each cell is already fated to become some part of the body. That means they cannot be differentiated further into any other type. In case of indeterminate type, what happens? Those organs, those cells, a particular cell will be induced later to become a specific structure. It will not be predetermined one. Its fate is not preformed. Okay, so such type of cleavage is indeterminate, but here it is determinate type of cleavage. That means once the cleavage occurs and once the blastomeres are formed, they are fated to become a particular specific body part of the body. Okay, so these are the advanced features of Ctenophora over radiata. So based on all this, we can say that Ctenophora are intermediate between radiata and bilateria. That means they have certain features of bilateria, they have some of the features of radiata too. So that means with all these similarities and differences, now we cannot put Ctenophora in Coelenterata, nor we can put it in platyhelminthes, because they are not so advanced like platyhelminthes, neither they are so primitive like Coelenterata. That's why it is justified that Ctenophora should be kept in a separate phylum with its own specific features, even though the phylum is smaller one, what we call as a minor phylum. Okay, so that's why Ctenophora is a separate phylum under animal kingdom or under metazoa. Okay, so that is about today's class. Hope you have understood the discussion. Now let's see how much you have understood. The first question is, the free swimming larva form of gastrodes is called as. We have already discussed it in our discussion. Let's see what are the options that are given. Is it planula, is it ephyrula, or Semper's larva, or Sidipet? And the right answer is yes, planula, which is similar to the coelenterate larva. The next one is, ctenophores are unisexual creatures, hermaphrodites, asexual creatures, and neotenic forms. They are hermaphrodites. Yes, 8 comb-like plates for locomotion are found in Arthropoda, Platyhelminthes, Mollusca, Ctenophora. And you should not be having any difficulty. Answer is Ctenophora. Statocyst is present in Ctenophora, Coelenterata, both of these or none of these. Statocyst. Okay, the answer is both of these, because medusoid forms of Coelenterata have statocyst which help them in balancing. Okay, body cavity is absent in the phylum Platyhelminthes, Coelenterata, Ctenophora, all of the above. So your answer is all of these, because none of the above members have coelom. They don't have body cavity. Okay, so that is all for today. To summarize, all ctenophores are carnivores. They have adapted the ability of bioluminescence. The nervous system is nerve net type, and they have certain features similar to radiata as well as bilateria. So they are put in the separate minor phylum called Ctenophora. So these are my references for today's class.